What is up, everybody? Hopefully, we're live. I pushed the button, so we should be. Oh, welcome back to the Super Dwarf Show. I will tell you, it is dark, it is lonely, it's a little bit scary here tonight because the power keeps going out. So if I lose you, I apologize. But we have some pretty sick stuff going on. Okay, it looks live. I just can't see my preview. Oh, let's see. Somebody chat at me. I got FW Reaper. How's it going? Lady Bratface, Boys and Cow, Jay Lunsford. Everybody's in the house. We got JNS Exotics. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. So, as always, can you guys hear me? Lady Bratface, my man. Anybody hear me now? Am I live? Am I good? Give me a thumbs up in the chat. I can see the chat going. Hey, there we are. Sonia Miller's in the house. All right, don't forget to like that button for me. Tonight's show is brought to you by Ship Your Reptiles, the makers of the giant green wall over there, and the ones who are safely shipping probably at least $30,000 worth of our stuff literally right now. These guys are the best when it comes to customer service. If you ever have anything go wrong, anything you want to check on, any questions you have before you ship, you have got to go to them. Even a lot of the guys that ship by themselves are like, I'm fine. I don't need help because I ship by myself all the time. They go, I can do that because I check Ship Your Reptiles weather advisories and notes first. So everybody's using their services. You should too. And just real quick before I get into it, did you know that if you want to sign up, or really, yeah, I think even if you have signed up, but you want to get 15 bucks off one of your shipments and then some really special perks, all you have to do is use the promo code SuperDwarf, all one word. What this does is affiliate code for us, and yes, we do earn a little bit back off of that. But as our official sponsor on YouTube, and we work with these guys exclusively, I struck a deal with them that our promo code, that code I just gave you, Super Dwarf, actually gets you preferred shipper status right now, like overnight. So that's lower rates, more eyes on your account, and you guys can call them up and use them and bother them all you want. You are a preferred shipper as soon as you sign up for that account with us. It took us years to earn that, and that was one of the things I asked them for as a part of this sponsorship deal, was that I wanted to pass on that awesome tier status to everybody. So it's not something you have to pay for. It's actually something that saves you money. So good times. All right. Oh, I got some notes here. Check out this cool snake. Let me grab my notes here real quick. I'm not going to be able to do this show without them because we got a lot of crazy stuff going on tonight. This is pretty cool. So we're talking about the snakes of the future. And actually, tonight, there's some crazy stuff going on right now that if you are on our Patreon, you'll find out about tonight at the after party. If you're not on our Patreon, ask yourself, why am I missing out on this? Because I'm going to reveal something. It's a snake. It's hatching right now. And I have never seen one of these in my life. I can guarantee you 100% you have never seen one of these in your life. And I am going to be a punk and not tell you about it unless you're on Patreon. I mean, this snake is fully deserving of like its own entire video. And so we will probably do that at some point. So the rest of you guys can find out then. But if you want to watch it hatching with me tonight after this show, click on the Patreon link below. Sign up at any of the paid levels, and you can join our after party. So there's a Zoom link on the Patreon description. So that's really cool. And then if you stay to the end of the show tonight, we are going to name this beautiful girl. This is actually a very significant snake and the pretty much the goal of all of our breeding. So before I get into what we're actually going to be breeding in 2025, and by the way, what you guys want to see in 2025, or what your dream snake would be, what would you love to see breeders making for this year? Let me tell you about this girl, and then you can help me name her at the end of the show. So this snake is a platinum. She's very pretty platinum, probably one of the brightest platinums I'd ever seen from the moment she was born. Genetically, morph-wise, Not the most significant, although platinum makes almost everything better. What's significant about her is how she was made. So she is 93.75% superdwarf. That's a big number. That means only 6.25% of her genetics are mainland, and those regular retic genetics are where the platinum gene came from, or that platinum mutation. So, in other words, they took a mainland and bred it to they and me and we, us, ours, because it's a multi generation project. But that mainland retic was bred into pure superdwarf females for 4 generations. So, her dad was 87.5% Kalatoa platinum head anery. Her mom was a F1 pure Coyote 100% het anery. Very cool. Two tiny little snakes. They bred together. We got a handful of platinums and a few anery platinums as well. If you know, you know. I think it was Clutch 22007. If you follow our Clutch hashtags and you watch our babies across social media, so you can shout it out right there in the chat section if you have a baby from one of these. But the reason why it's so significant is because a couple of years ago, I set for myself a goal of this 93.75, in other words, 4 generations, super dwarf from selective breeding standpoint as a goal to get to for every single morph, cross, or mutation that I want to see. In other words, when we create a new morph in Superdorf, and this is still a question we get literally every day. I think I saw it pop up from my Morph Market app as I was jumping on here to do this live stream with you guys. Um, but people always ask, they'll see like, Superdorf Tiger, Superdorf Albino, and they say, now, can you tell me if this is pure Superdorf, please? And the truth is, I mean, yes, I could tell you we bred the snake, but you shouldn't have to have somebody tell you because if it has any mutation in it currently other than anery, which came from the islands that the Superdorfs came from, it means that the mainland morphs were bred into it. So the gray area question is kind of like how far is too far or when is enough, right? And so if I'm making super dwarf platinums, I mean, her dad is ridiculously small at 87.5%. A lot of you guys know the animals from her grandfather's generation. If you watch Lori Tarini and her snake training, she has a platinum retic from literally 2 generations ago. It's basically the size of a pure super dwarf retic. Um, and he is a little bit less than 75% Superdorf actually, and it's just good selective breeding that made him small. So if you can do that, the question is why go all the way to 93.75%? Um, and the reason for me is getting that below 10% on the mainland blood really eradicates a lot of people's questions, concerns, and issues. So right now, when we're estimating adult size, it's a kind of a controversial thing between Superdorf breeders because it's like, well, how do you really know, and all this kind of stuff. Most Superdorf breeders, mind you, have been working with their animals for like a generation. Like they bought some animals and they raised them up and now they're breeding them. It's going to be very hard for them to predict a range of sizes that their babies are going to get into. On the other hand, if you've been working with them for 4 generations, selectively holding back the smallest of the small, constantly, kind of taking the skimming the cream off of the top, right, of the milk, and then breeding it back into pure super dwarfs, 93.75 or 4 generations is the amount that I picked. That's also coincidentally like legally when they make a lot of crossed animals, like we have a Bengal cat. There's a lot of places where wild cats are illegal, as in like non-domesticated wild cats, African or Asian forest cats, but or Asian leopard cats, sorry. But after 4 generations, they're like, this is a domesticated animal now. So there's actually legal precedent set up in a lot of the places where, I don't know, things like superdwarfs or mainland retics might be illegal. But if there's legal precedent for 4 generations being, domestication, then 4 generations seem like a good number. And it's well and above what it actually takes me to shrink some of these snakes down to ridiculously small sizes predictably all the time. So, she's our only platinum this high. This is a 2.5-year-old female. It's going to be awesome to see what she breeds and produces. But the goal again is to get everything to this point and then keep it there, right? So right now, minimum standard to call something a super door is 50%, and that's great. And I think that that should stay. But wouldn't it be cool if we pushed the super door selective breeding to a point where you're not getting any more than 10%, almost half of that with this animal of mainland in it forever and for always. And then it's just a matter of bringing new mutations in and putting in the hard effort work in many, many, many years that it takes to produce an animal like this. So that's what we're after. You guys get to name her, and it's going to be awesome. Now, let me ask you this while I set her down. She actually ate today. I don't want her to like throw up or poop all over me. But while I set her up, why don't you guys answer me this question? What would you like to see in 2025? If you had access to, and I think we should stick with the reality of things that could exist in 2025, right? So that means stuff we're breeding right now to produce babies for next season. And I will let you in on some of the secret stuff that I'm actually breeding. But let's say you could utilize any animal out there that you've seen and you got to play God with the whole world's Superdorf breeding collections and make anything that you wanted to happen, even if it was a little bit on the realm of reality of like, I don't know if it could actually happen in 2025, but it's at least somewhat realistic. What would you guys like to see? That's what I want to know. So let me know in the chat there. Let's see here. Maybe I can scroll up. Oh man, we got all kinds of fun people in the house tonight. What's up? We got Brandon Cox in here. Stephen Lewis, very cool with the alligator, by the way, my man. Stephen helped rescue an alligator out there in California recently. It was very cool. Prehistoric Pets really stepped up to get that guy home, and it sounds like he may very well have otherwise been euthanized. So that is cool. Allie Thorstad's in the house. Dylan's in the house under Clarity Creations, hiding. That's pretty cool. We got Patrick in here. All right. What do you guys want to see? Eric Blick, what's up? And Chris Jones, Ocelot SD. All right, here we go. Chris Jones wants to see a Superdorf Ocelot. You and me both, my man. You know, it's funny. I got my first Ocelot genetic animal, it was 3, maybe 4 years ago. And as soon as he was big enough, he was about 2 years old, I bred him to 3 super dwarf females. So this would have been 2 years ago to try to produce super dwarf het ocelots. Remember, this is a recessive genetic trait, so it takes 2 generations to do it. So sometimes you get this fantastic breeding of an ocelot, let's say with a pure super dwarf, and all the babies come out normal. And usually the general audience isn't celebrating too much because it doesn't look like anything, but breeders of the world are going, yeah. And all of like the investment buyers and stuff, they're jumping on those first generation animals. So um, tragically, all 3 of those females had issues that year, and I produced nothing. I tried again the second year, and I had the same results. After that, I said, I give up. Someone else is going to beat me to this one. You know, every new genetic recessive trait that you put in takes an insane amount of work. And so sometimes it's better just to buy into it, especially if you can get a good deal. So while you guys chat, what else you want to see in 2025? And speaking of good deals, Joe asked me to shout out the fact that we are actually going to have a pretty big Black Friday sale this year. Now, if you didn't know, and I was just talking about the huge number of animals that shipped out today, it was very exciting. And I'm super stoked to see what some of you guys think when you get these boxes. Some people in this chat right here, I know, got their animals early this week. You know, give us a big thumbs up if you received an animal from us this week, and thank you. So pretty stoked on that. But we have sales going on now all the way through Black Friday, so that's going to be great. But I don't know too much of what other things Joe's going to do on Black Friday, so you'll definitely want to shoot him an email. One of the ways we've always run it is that we get too many inquiries, requests, messages, and stuff to possibly answer them all. in like a regular work day or even a 12 or 16-hour day if we wanted to work that much on a holiday, but we don't. So what we do is we're like, hey, from midnight to midnight Eastern, if you shoot in an inquiry on Black Friday, we'll honor whatever our Black Friday sales prices were and everything until we finish that conversation with you. So we may have to pick it up Monday, Tuesday, the following week or whatever, but shoot an email into info@reachoutreptiles.com if you want some of the best deals. One of the things I know that he is going to do is have kind of like when the big retailers do like doorbuster sales where they have like just a few particularly fantastic, too good to be true deals on stuff. So if you're ready, willing, able to be equipped to house a Superdorf already and you're just waiting when is the time, I would say start talking to him right now and figure out if it's something that you can go ahead and buy now at the best possible value, or if this is something that you should like smash into the Black Friday thing with, um, and have those conversations. So it's going to be a pretty big deal. All right, let's see what we got here. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. Ocelot Superdorf, a Superdorf red anaconda. What? Yeah, that's just a rainbow boa, Steven. Come on now. Mocha, orange ghost stripe, super sun. Okay, I said at least kind of in the realm of of reality, right, Jason? A mocha orange ghost stripe super sun. I guess there are technically some hets that I potentially might have made about 2.5 years ago that are het albino or mocha and orange ghost stripe. So yeah, I don't know. Theoretically, this one could happen, sort of, maybe, possibly in 2025, actually. A mocha orange ghost stripe super sun. I don't know that we'll get it, but I am very excited about seeing some albino OGS and some mochino and mocha OGS stuff with some fires and tigers mixed in there. Marble Indo Caramel, Joshua Stevens, man after my own heart. We still have only barely in 2024, and they're sitting in the racks downstairs right now, produced the first ever dwarf Indo caramels that are, 50% dwarf. So, holy smokes, are they amazing. And they are motley. That's the genetic trait that was added on top of there for a pattern mutation. They look really, really good. But I agree with you. Marble is definitely one of my favorite pattern mutations, and to see it in that Indo caramel palette would be amazing. Definitely working on some marble. I mean, last year, a lot of what I did was to produce high percentage Superdorf marble, het albino, het snow, things like that, and trying to use some like exotic blends from a selective breeding standpoint. So Madus, Karumpas, stuff like that. Pretty cool. No sad stories. Sometimes there are sad stories, Jason. This is real life. We're talking about 2025 here. Could be some very sad stories, but I think all of us can do our part to make it the best year yet, right? Let's do it. Send it. Full send, no cap. All right. Clarity Creations wants normals. I honestly love me a lot of normals. We produce tons and tons of normals. Just depends on your definition of normal. If you're talking about wild type, there's a huge variety of very exciting normals that can be made. So I'm super stoked about some of the normals we're going to produce. Maybe more excited about those than a lot of the morphs. Tiger, golden child. Whoa, it jumped. Hold on, I lost it. Tiger, golden child, purple albino. Tiger GC purple albino. I think we have it. I think I have one downstairs. You could literally buy that as a 2024 baby and probably get a good deal on it for Black Friday. Done. All right. Soul, what's up? How's it going? Year two was awful. Purple cows. I don't know what you're talking about. Year two was awful. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Purple cows. Holy smokes, Poison Cow. We just released the Superdorf cow video. Superdorf cows, I can count on one hand how many exist in total, and you already want another recessive morph in there. You need to slow your roll. That being said, I think that is actually potentially a possibility because we do have some of those the same project we were talking about, like mocha and purple OGS animals. So I would just need a phantom het albino to run in there. Indo, Ryan, yes, right? I mean, we already talked about like the Indo caramel motleys. They are incredible. And some of you out there may know that there's actually some golden childs in that project too. It has been a long road to get there, but they do exist. So some very exciting stuff to come. And like we were talking about this girl with the multi-gen, there's a lot of like you'll see orange glows and you will see mochinos, but for every one mochino, let's say, or let me put it, it's the opposite. For every 50 mochinos, or maybe even at this point 500 mochinos, you'll see one mocha. For every 500 orange glows, you'll see one Indo caramel. And particularly in the dwarf and super dwarf breeding game, those animals are critical because if I breed a mochino to a super dwarf to run higher percentages of super dwarfs, half the babies are het mocha and half are het albino, and I don't know which are which until I breed them or they develop some kind of shed testing. So if you get a mocha, which we just did last year, we made the first dwarf mocha. He's a Sunfire het anery. I can now breed him to anything I want. So potentially I could breed him to like a pure super dwarf female that's a het anery and make sun anery 100% het mochas with no albino in there. So that's really good from a breeding perspective because if you make het this and or that, those are usually holdback clutches that we wouldn't sell or give away or anything like that. But once I can make 100% het mochas, if you want mochino and mocha stuff, you'd sign right up. That's the animal you want. You don't want to gamble. It's not as even as much about the first purchase price. It's about what happens after you raise this animal for years and years, and that's not what you want, right? So let's see. A blue-eye bushveld albino. We're talking about house snakes over here now, Mr. Lunsford. The bushveld albino is a very, very cool, brand new mutation that's pretty sweet. So potentially there's a shortcut to getting something like that, but won't be for 2024. Ooh, I don't know if they can throw a pied. Lady Brat Face. Yes, they can throw a pied. I have two animals I think are locking up, meaning breeding, twisting their little romantic tails together right now that could potentially, I don't know what everyone else is doing, but these could potentially produce the first super dwarf pieds that are 50% super dwarf or above. And they're downstairs right now breeding. So that means in as little as 5 months from now, we could be celebrating the first super dwarf piebalds. Oh, let's see. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. I'd like to see something blue, but I don't think that's possible. Sonia Miller, I saw a blue retic one day. It was like a sky blue color, patternless, beautiful, light, kind of a translucent blue. It was actually, I'll give you the genetic recipe right now. It was a Phantom Motley Sunfire. I'm sorry, Phantom Sunfire Super Motley Titanium. Weird random combination, but I saw it in real life and it was blue. Actually, we've already made extremely green reticulated pythons, which is not one of the colors in the palette of retics. So blue and green kind of live on that same vein. I think it would not take forever to make more green and blue retics, which is pretty exciting because a lot of the morph splicing and stuff that you see, like let's say with ball pythons, you can go from like yellows into reds, and with some of the albinos, you can get almost lavender, purpley colors in there. But you don't see blue, you don't see green, and I think they've got a lot longer to go than we do with the retics. So blue and green is definitely on the to-do list. Probably not in 2024 until by some freak of nature, unexpected thing we hatched something. Indo Super Sun. Yes, please. Absolutely. White diamond line with a morph like marble or orange ghost stripe. Now we're talking. So white diamond line is not a mutation. It is a selectively bred bloodline. So it's got big giant white rosettes. It's super clean, super bright. It's like a high def retic. And so we've made tigers in it before, and they are phenomenal. They are so good. I mean, they're literally some of just simple morph like tiger. They're some of the favorites of people that are like kind of general public or casual observers of retics. They come in and they see them, they love them, they want to run home with them. Ocelot, yes, we want to go with some ocelots. Told the wife about the Superdorf cow, and she votes for those. Okay, they're there. We made them. It's done. We made them in 2022 and again in 2024, and I hope we will produce a few more in 2025. Um, the 2024 babies, you might have seen some of the babies in the recent video. I believe we have one female left. I think that's it for the 2024 cows. So, yeah, definitely shoot out an email to info at reach at reptiles if you're wanting to get one of those. They're not cheap, but I think they're pretty incredible. They're a lot cheaper than they were 2 years ago when we made them. We basically halved the price, but I think at that price, they can make you plenty of cool babies and return on investment for many years to come. They're kind of at that level. When I can get to 93.75% Superdorf cows and they're $1,000, it's game on. I think that's the perfect snake for so many people. The whole world's going to have them. So there's going to be demand for generations to come. Madu Faux Show. Hit us up for the normals. That's the way it is. Those are some of those exciting normals, absolutely. And the Madus are incredible. Actually, talk about blue snakes. I think Madu influence with the anery is your secret to blue. When they fire up, it's incredible. Purple snows that we have on Morph Market. I am a fan of those too. I always have been. Actually, we're just talking about white diamond line that originated from a purple snow project. We have some of the beautiful, like daintiest looking purple snows downstairs. I have one I know that is it's like bone white background with super thick borders, and it's just all splotched on there, almost ocelot like. It just got these crazy patterns all the way down it. It's phenomenal. And then like big thick purples on that white background. And then I have some that are like purple platinum snows that are absolutely stunning. We're talking about how beautiful that platinum was. You wouldn't think platinum would work well in snow, but it is hot because it thins the purple part of the pattern down. So you could get the thick blotchy purples, or you can thin it down to where it looks like you took a fine tip ink pen and like pixel by pixel drew that pattern on perfectly. They're incredible. And the colors, the background colors are like an Easter egg. So absolutely purple snow would be the way to go. We have some good ones in there right now, and they'll be on sale till the end of the month. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Garrett's saying no cap. You're welcome. Actually, you guys should all go follow. There's somebody that I met at Clint's 5-year anniversary. Her channel is called My Pawfect Family, like PAW, Fecht Family. Follow her on Instagram. She's huge on TikTok as well. But she was actually at the shop and she's like, okay, I want to do this TikTok, Garrett. It's where you get an old person to say a bunch of like Gen Z sayings, and we're going to do it with you. And I was like, okay, where do we get the old person? And then there was this look and awkward silence that came after that. But we did the reel. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I think it's going to be pretty funny. So you should go follow My Pawfect Family if you want to see more of that. Jason wants to see Quicksilver. What is a Quicksilver, Jason? I had a snake named Quicksilver. It was an Anery Madu. Let's see. Hey, you said if I could play God. That's true. Push the boundaries. Let's see. I want to see a purple call. Yes, my Jimp boy I just got from y'all just hit about a year and a half old. That's awesome. I freaking love Jampayas, and as much as I love the pure locality, and we work very hard to reestablish those for the trade in captivity, I like the Jamp crosses better. Just from like a enjoyment standpoint, they are so pretty. They add so many awesome looks to it. Start producing some mochas. Let's see, wants a pied, pretty exciting. A blue cow. Yeah, maybe anery cows. I don't know. I don't know how you do that. Wish me luck. Convince my mom to get one of the titaniums instead of a ball python. You should Definitely go get a titanium. That's one of my favorite pattern combos. I know I said it was marble, but this is the other favorite, especially because when you breed them, it's so cool to see the variation that pops out. They're so different from each other. You should definitely do that. And new in 2024 were the first titanium combos in Superdorf. So we hatched a few platinum titaniums, which absolutely is the best combo to start with for titanium. I think purple will be next. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-bum. Have your mom call me. I'll talk her into it. Just have her watch this video. You can't see how happy I am about what's going to happen in 2025 and not want to buy your son a titanium retic. That would be crazy. All right. Age is just a number. That's true. And at my age, I keep forgetting the number. I have to do the math all the time. That's crazy. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. La 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 la. Quicksilver is mercury. Yeah, but what does it mean in a retic? Is there a combo or a morph called Quicksilver? I don't know. All right. Let me run down what I have here on my computer that you can't see, except for all of our crazy like breeder tier Patreon people that are probably going to zoom in on this and like screenshot all this. But it's all of our breeder females and all of the planned males that we haven't bred to. I don't have you seen the look at the length of this list. That is a lot of breeder female animals, especially when you consider they're only dwarf and super dwarf retic. Let's go through and check out some of the highlights, shall we? In the meantime, we need to name our little girl here. So, off the top of my head, I can name a few of my favorite highlights. So, these are all attempted things. We actually have 0 retic eggs on the ground as of tonight. I should say as of an hour ago because we have a couple girls due to lay any minute. But some of the highlights for this year are going to be Karampas, Madus. We should get potentially pure Jampayas again. This is a new generation in selectively bred, which is awesome because I cherry picked some bangers and they're going to be really cool. So let's see, potentially we could have 3 different bloodlines of pure slayers, though I haven't decided if I actually want to make that many. So I'll probably just pick one of the bloodlines and then make crosses with the others because there's not as many people that want them. More exciting than that, I think, is the possibility of making pure Tombalongans. Now, we were able to hatch them this year, 2024, but we hatched literally 2 babies, and I had to share. So, because it was a breeding loan situation. So this year, we have finally 3 adult females that are like established, ready to rock. No reason that they shouldn't breed. They're well old enough. For those of you that don't know, Tombalongans are one of the localities. They look like a slayer, but they're super dwarf in size. So that's very exciting. Hey, you. Um, so let's see, what other localities might I get? I don't think I'm going to do pure Kiowatis, but it is a possibility. Kalatoas will definitely be produced in 2025, and did I miss any? I think that's actually all 7 of the localities. So there's a chance that if you're into the pure localities that we're into, that you might get them. New recessive mutations is fun. So we did the cow video. They're technically not new because 2 of them were made like 3 years ago, but pretty stinking rare and new. So that's a really fun one. We have some beautiful Superdorf orange ghost stripes right now, which is really cool. So that's one recessive combo down, or one recessive mutation down. This year, we potentially could see, like I said, they're locking the first Superdorf piebalds, which would be amazing. We could see some hopefully some more variety on Superdorf titaniums. We have a female who's producing follicles that could produce the first Superdorf genetic stripes. Very, very exciting. These are all recessive combos that either barely exist or have never existed. So this is pretty cool stuff in addition to the localities. And then some of the combos that we could see, there's a lot of them, but as far as like double recessives, we have a potential for albino pieds. We have a potential for albino genetic stripes. We have a potential for maybe anery titaniums. Um, we have what else do we have the potential for? Maybe orange ghost stripe Aneries, which who knows what that would look like. I think that would be pretty green. Um, So that would be really fun. Let's see what else. Oh, Superdorf anthrax, visual Superdorf anthrax. That would be very cool. Another, recessive mutation. Some of the cool locality crosses that are unique that we haven't seen. We're trying to produce. We're talking about Tombalongans, very bold, bright gold and black. We could get Tombalongan tigers. That would be awesome. Some of the Karampa crosses that we're making this season are going to be phenomenal. We've made a few and they're already awesome. We've made Karumpa marbles and Karumpa tigers, and I love them. So we need to make some more. Let's see. Heartland Reptiles is what's up. How's it going? In the house. Let's see. What are we breeding? Two different species. Do you use a male or female super dwarf? Um, I have not made species hybrids if you're talking about full species. If you're talking about mainlands to superdwarfs, I prefer to use a mainland male and a superdwarf female. But if you're talking about like Burmese or ball pythons bred into superdwarfs, I have not done that yet. There are some people who have a little bit of superdwarf crosses into some berms to make Borneo bat eaters, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I I think I would if it was Burmese or ball pythons that you were doing hybrid projects, I would use the female as a berm or a ball with a shorter incubation and gestation time. I think you have better chances for success. Not to mention a male retic will breed anything, no problem. So let's see. Thank you, Poison Cow. Smash that like button. That would be awesome, guys. Okay, let me run through here and see what else we got. Most of our 2025 breedings are like selective breedings, so I'm pretty excited about that. We could get 93.75% Superdorf Annery Phantoms this year, which would be very fun. We could get a lot of cool Annery Motley Tiger stuff. I always love that kind of stuff. We'll have some Madu Phantom crosses. Ooh, Susie, our Mocha Sunfire is going to Puff Puff Unicorn. That's exciting. So that would be Sunfire Platinum Mochino, maybe Snows. Sunfire Platinum Snow Chinos. That'd be crazy. Do you guys remember the Duesenberg? He was a very unique, very beautiful Karompa male wild caught animal that we found kind of in a garage find collection things, thus the name. I only had him for 4 months. And in those 4 months, I managed to breed him to one of the only other two breeding Karompa females. And we got three babies out of it, one male and two females. That little guy's baby, the one of one male from that bloodline, his name is Frosty, grew up and bred to Prima. So we'll get some very cool. Those would be F2 Duesenbergs. It would be fantastic. Dark Moon Dragon, thank you. Appreciate you. Hit that like button, everybody. Love it, guys. All right. Ooh, we should have some really cool Slayer crosses. So I made a really cool snake that's a Marble Sunfire Phantom Slayer head annery. It's actually produced over at Aaron Metcalf's place. But I have a holdback male from that clutch, and we're running him into all kinds of cool Sunfire. So you remember Rob and I doing our clutch of the Kiowati Sun Platies? So we're taking some females from that clutch and breeding them into our Slayers, shrink them down, make them deep, deep orange. That'll be pretty fun. Ooh, Snoodle and Kit. So maybe Indo Caramel Snows. Maybe. Snoodle is young. She's never bred yet, but that would be very fun. Really high percentage snow stuff, visual snows. That'll be good. Always good to keep pushing that forward. Oh, here's a good one. Can you imagine what a platinum, marble, sunfire, phantom, Annery tiger would look like? Because I can't, and we might make one. That would be really cool. A lot of really high percentage stuff, a lot of Annery, like real high percentage Annery Kalatoa combos breeding. That's going to be really fun. We've got this guy Ace. He's a Sunfire Tiger Phantom head anner. He's 75% Superdorf, and a lot of that Superdorf in there is Madu. He's breeding all kinds of fun stuff. So I'll leave that up to your imaginations. Ooh, here's a fun one. This would make Mocha Snows that were Posset Orange Ghost Stripe. That wouldn't be a bad thing. And yeah, there'd be Tiger in there too. So, oh, do you guys remember the goat line? We bred Sulawesi's into Superdwarfs, and I used one of the coolest, smallest, pure Superdwarf female, but she was like all the best traits of Karampa and Kalatoa together. She's also 100% head anery. And we bred her to a F1 Sulawesi male. We called them the goat line or like Superdwarf Sulawesi's. And I had this vision for them and they were cool and they came out with varying amounts of that vision. I held them all back, but we're going to try to breed those again this year. Everyone's like, "Give me a goat. I want another goat line." That was a one-time deal, and I did it because I wanted to make miniature Sulawesi's to set myself up with a bunch of breeders for the future. I didn't want them to look exactly like Sulas. I wanted them to have like double the pattern and color of a Sula. So some of the stuff that the Super Dwarf like high saddle count can provide. So we're gonna make F2s of those, and I want to for a second generation pursue that selectively bred vision for what I had in mind there. So a lot of you guys have been asking about those. Those would be pretty cool. Ooh, rounding out my tiger project, we'll get some Coyote tigers, Tombalongan tigers this year. That'd be good. Oh, this one's fun. So we're one of the ones that we're trying to make Superdorf hets for the first time in a big way is I have a Mocha Anthrax. Now he's also Platinum and Phantom male. And just like the Ocelot I was talking about earlier, we're running him to several different pure Superdorf females to get a few different bloodlines of double het Mocha Anthraxes. So that would be the Anthraxes. Technically, I think Superdorf Anthraxes had been made about 10 years ago, and then they all died. But so there are none currently that I'm aware of. But not only would we be making potentially the first Superdorf Anthrax in 2025, but we would also be making Superdorf double het Mocha Anthrax with a few other genes in there. So that's pretty cool. But I think that's all I'm going to talk about. Except maybe carbon fibers. We might make more carbon fibers. If you know what those are, then you know what those are. So we did the breeding. It was a concept. I made them. They were awesome, but the bloodline was too big for me. So I kept a couple males back. I bred them into small bloodline, and now we're running those into smaller females to recreate that very specific. It's like a 1 in 32 combo to try to make a snake that looks like full carbon fiber weave. So I'd love to make those again. All right. My girl from you is 75% TK Kalatoa. What's the difference between that bloodline and other Kalatoas? Uh, the a lot of times the bloodlines used to be named after the breeder. So TK stands for Travis Kubis. He was the original breeder that took the wild caught animals and produced captive bred ones. So if I ran my business the way that they did back then, any Kalatoas that I produce would be reach out or ROR line Kalatoas. I wanted to put a stop to that because in the case of Travis Kubis's Kalatoas, he had 6 males and like 12 females or something like that. Um, might have even been more than that, but he had a bunch of different Kalatoas. So there's technically many, many, many bloodlines called TK Kalatoa. So instead, I've been naming the animals like our male Reach, the Reach Dreams male, and then when he produces babies, it would be Reach Dreams bloodline. So instead of taking the credit and naming it after myself, I want to name it after the animal so that as far in as you go, you can coin back to that original imported animal and know your bloodline all the way back to wild caught. It's just something that they didn't used to focus on back then, but they do now. One of the other differences with some of the TKs, certainly the ones that we have, is that, a lot of them, a lot of the Calatos might be like F1s where you just pick up 2 snakes out of the wild that you happen to get and breed them and you're happy you made Calatos at all. With TK, he was able to get 2, 3, 4 generations in pure Kalatoas, so the animals started to look very cool according to his vision. So sometimes they're a lot more unique, and I know what he happened to like was like very clean pattern, very bright animals. So he would breed for that. Also, some of his bloodlines ended up proving to be genetic carriers of that anerythristic mutation. So a lot of advantages to the TK bloodline, but it's not necessarily better or worse than other Calato bloodlines. It's all about, just kind of like tracking the lineage of the animals going back, right? To know that you have a pure Calatoa. With yours being 75%, it doesn't matter on the pure side whatsoever because yours is not pure and wouldn't produce pures. Where it does count is taking those generations of selective breeding done by a guy who is like an artist with these genetics and taking all his hard work and moving forward from there into your project. So I'll bet you that animal grows up to look pretty good. This one has a lot of TK influence. She has technically 43.75% of the Calatoa in this one is TK line. So that's what it means. All right, guys, it is that time. We need to wrap this show up because I want to show my Patreon members something I guarantee you've never seen before that is hatching right now. We're going to take it out of the incubators and see it. If you don't want to miss out on this and a lot of other behind the scenes content, jump on our Patreon in the link below. You could click that link, sign up. I think the lowest level is like $5. So for $5 a month, you get a ton of behind the scenes content and then exclusive invitations to things like Retic Fest, which is the huge party that we have here for all the Superdwarf lovers in the country and from around the world, right here at the facility, Reach Out Reptiles. So sign up on Patreon if you want to see what's hatching. We'll kick off 2025 during 2024 with a bang. So let's go ahead and name this girl. If you've been here on the live, you know how it works. If you haven't, this is it. You guys are going to start chatting in your name suggestions for this absolute foundational 4th-generation to pure Superdwarf female animals, and she's got the platinum morph to show for it. This animal literally represents at a minimum of decades worth of work, and in reality, it was more like 20 years of work into the breeding just because of timelines and setbacks and things like that it takes to actually produce a real live animal like this. So, with about 20 years of selective breeding in her, we can now make some of the most epic, Superdorf looking platinums that there are. And I never want to go back to lower percentages ever again. So, what should we name her? Put your suggestions in the chat. I'm going to read through all these suggestions. We will pick one right here, right now, tonight. And then I'm going to take our famous, it's like everybody's side hobby is to come check out the fatty green tape on the cages and the names written on there of all the animals. Because if you name this snake tonight, she's a one of one that we kept back here at the facility. You can find the highest percentage platinum Superdorf in the facility, and it will have your name on it right here on this tape. A little bit of a legacy to you. So, what should we name her? Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to start reading through the comments and figure out if we've got a good name. Let's see. Dark Moon Dragon, you're the best. Thank you for the super chat. So super encouraging. All right, let's see. We need some avocado carampa. Jason, that is the goat line. Avocado is the goat line, and he is 25% carampa. Okay. Ryan needs the link. Ryan, you got to jump on your, I'll text it to you. You got to jump on your Patreon app and you'll see the meeting link there. Poison Cow, this is a female. She's a female platinum, very high percentage. Okay, let's see. Oh, we got some names popping up in here. Let's see. Quail. I don't know if that was a name suggestion, Jason, or you're saying like, I want to feed a quail to something, but quail. Okay, quail. Juliet. I like where you're going with that, Steven. Celestia, great name. Already have one of those. It's crazy. We have so many times we are running into names that we already have now. Platy Boom Batty, very nice. Probably a little shorter for our breeding records. This is a Platy Boom Batty baby. Well, it does roll off the tongue. Let's see. Persephone, Thumbelina. Already got a Thumbelina. Good name suggestion, but yeah. Let's see. Elsa Jean. Okay, Candy Lane, Glimmer, nice. Let's see. Says you can't keep retics if you live in California. No, that's not true. You can definitely keep retics in California for sure, mainland or Superdorf. Ba-ba-da-ba-dum. Phantom Poison, Liza Minnelli. Sunset, Madonna. I think we have a Sunset and a Madonna. Citrina, Butter. That's a nice one. Bentley, because she's expensive. Jelly. I like it. La, da, 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 da. Okay, Taylor Swift, Bella, Moana, Bob Bledsoe has Superdose in California. Okay, we don't want to name you Bob Bledsoe, baby. Corona, iconic, or PBB for short. Ooh, these are some good ones. Okay, let me run over them again real quick. You guys are gonna have to throw some of these names back up because there's more that I like than just what I'll be able to pick for her. Oh, glimmer, citrus, butter jelly. Taylor Swift, Bella, Moana. Let's see. Phantom Poison, Sweet Tea. I've actually already got a Sweet Tea. Bobby, we have a Bobby. Queen, that's a good one. Jade, Sousy. I have a Susie. So I don't know if I can do another Susie, even if it's spelled differently. It might get confusing. Iconic, Corona, Moana, Bella. Oh, oh gosh. All right, we're gonna go with Glimmer. Glimmer. I have no glimmers. You look very glimmery. She's got a little glow up tonight. Ate her food. She's on fire. There's a lot of good ones in there. I liked a lot of there was like two top choices. Honestly, it's between Glimmer and Butter. I don't know why I'm feeling simple names tonight. But then there's like 10-second choices. So very good names tonight, guys. We are going to name her Glimmer right now. So that would be who said Glimmer? Midnight Musings. Congratulations. You win. This girl's name is Glimmer Forever. So that's exciting. And guys, we will see you on the Patreon after party. Special thank you to Ship Your Reptiles. Remember, if you guys set up an account over there, you can use a coupon code that'll give you 15 bucks off one shipment. The code is Superdwarf. But more than that, it adds you to a preferred shipper status account where you get top tier treatment and the best prices. So go use that code, even if you're having a snake shipped to you. Say, hey, let me run that label. Throw that account down there, and you'll be a preferred shipper from day one with your first snake. So thanks to Ship Your Reptiles, to all of you guys who are here, commenting, hitting that like button. It helps us out a lot. Special thanks to Patreon. We are going to hang out with Glimmer and a ridiculously cool, never before seen snake that is literally hatching right now. Jake came up to me today and he said, Garrett, have you ever hatched a, and then the live ended.